Malthusian theory of population. Reverend Thomas Robert Malthus, an Anglican clergyman and a well-known political economist, wrote an essay on population in 1798. The essay he wrote was influenced greatly by the rate at which the population in Europe at that time was growing at a very fast rate. The main features of Malthusian theory include that population was growing at a geometric progression such as 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. While food production or supply was growing at an arithmetic progression such as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That there is a tendency for all living things to grow beyond the food available to them. Thus, Malthus encouraged the government, as at that time, to start controlling population growth. Since there is a tendency for all living things to grow beyond the food available to them. So, Malthus claimed that population could be contained with natural checks. And these natural checks will include war, diseases, epidemics, and famine. Malthus also believed that if population growth went unchecked, that people will starve and go to war as a result of scarce resources. So he proposed other ideas to help avoid population growth. Now, these ideas include the deliberate control of population, which he called moral restraint. He explained that moral restraint is the decision to start a family later in life. Since population is essentially limited by the means of subsistence. Later, people called Neo-Malthusians modified Reverend Thomas Malthus' work with their own belief. So the biggest difference are birth control methods and identifying the working class with overpopulation. Thomas Malthus' theory was later disproved by the Borisov theory. The demographic transition theory or model. This theory is the latest attempt made to provide a historical analysis into the population problems of developing countries. The demographic transition theory puts up a model which recognizes 5 main stages in the process of population growth or demographic transition. The first stage is the pre-industrialization stage. The second stage is the transitional stage, while the third stage is the post-transitional stage. The fourth and fifth stages are still on site. So let's begin with the first stage. The main feature of this stage is high birth rate and high death rate. The population at this stage is either static or increasing or decreasing at a very low rate. Note here that the birth rate is the green line, the death rate is the blue line, and the population size is the red line. So the second stage is characterized by high birth rate accompanied by low death rate. This stage leads to high population as a result of a number of factors such as industrialization, urbanization, better diets, etc. The third stage is characterized by a low birth rate and low death rate. In other words, there is a relatively stable population with an older and larger population. Note that this stage is associated with developed countries. Now, the criticism against demographic transition theory is that it is completely wrong to use theory for general applications as it varies from one country to another. Also note that crude birth, widely used in the theory, is not the only way to measure fertility. So let's look at population census. So what is population census? A population census may be defined as the head count of all nationals of a country at a particular time. It refers to the counting by government of all the children, boys, girls, men, and women, including the disabled, in a country at a given period of time. Censuses are usually taken every 10 years. Now, when a series of censuses has been undertaken properly, it becomes easier using the rate of growth to estimate the population between the period of count. Population census takes note of the following: the age, the gender, state of origin, citizenship status, and occupation. So briefly, we will look at the history of census in Nigeria, beginning in 1953, 1973, 1991, 2006. In 1953, the census puts Nigeria at 31.12 million. The census was conducted in 1963, which puts the country's population at 55.67 million. This figure as of that time was overinflated, and it raised a lot of controversies regarding its reliability and acceptability. In 1973, another census was done, which put the country's figure to 79 million people. This figure was also rejected due to double counting and overestimation. In 1991, another population census was taken. It was given as 88.514 million people. So the most recent in the country is the one that was conducted in the year 2006, which puts our figure at over 140 million people. As of 2010, the Nigerian government told us that the population of Nigeria was 158.5 million people. Then in 2015, the population was said to be around 181.1 million. And in 2020, the population was said to be around 206 million people living in the country. Since the year 2006, there has been no population census, and the current estimate of the people living or residing in Nigeria is over 200 million people. Now, why are some places more densely populated than the others? We have one, favorable climate. Areas with adequate rainfall, which ensures the population or production of food tends to be densely populated. Density can be calculated using the total population divided by the area of a country. Natural attachments or historical factors. Now, the growth of some empires in the past has favored high population densities. Also, we have administrative headquarters. Some towns serve as administrative capitals, which attract people to that area. Ensure you attempt all quizzes and assignments in this module. I'll see you in my next class.